Today we are answering your questions. Hey guys, what's going on? I hope everybody is having a fantastic week so far. I want to thank my buddy Staten for coming back. Welcome back, Staten. A lot of you have requested him to come back, so he actually drove to Georgia today to be with us.
Why is that? Why do you think they requested for me to come back?
I don't know.
I was sincerely asking.
All right, so the other day I asked you guys if you had any questions for Staten. So we're going to read off some of the most common and upvoted questions that you guys asked. Number one is from Ahmed. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. What not to do on a ride-along? Staten, what do you think somebody should not do on a ride-along?
I don't want to do a double negative, so you should take a shower before you show up.
That should go without saying.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say you should not take a shower. You should definitely take a shower. I don't know. Ask question. Definitely.
Well, what's something that would annoy you while you're trying to work?
If you touch things that, like, started touching buttons, like, hey, what's this do? And you start touching shit.
Start running NCIC entries.
Don't just start running plates on my computer, like, without me letting you. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can get in trouble for.
Yeah.
Like, if you just turn my blue lights on for no reason, I might get in trouble for that.
Especially in the daytime when you can't see them while you're in the car and you're just riding around the city.
I do that on almost a daily basis.
Do you?
Yeah.
I used to be pretty bad about it.
I have all extra lights in my car. So, like, when my normal lights are on, I have, like, a little indicator in my car that shows me that the lights are on. Mm-hmm. But when my little extra lights are on, I don't know that they're on inside the car unless, like, it's at nighttime.
Yeah,
Sometimes
another
I'll
thing.
ride around with all the lights in my windows on. And
yeah, see, that's another thing. A lot of times during the day, we'll forget to turn our lights off, so we'll just like be going down the street, and people just be pulling over randomly, and you're like, "Oh, they're."
And I'm like,
how
"That's
nice.
a nice guy.
That's a nice driver."
He's like, "I'm going to McDonald's to get a burger."
How courteous!
And
then you're in the McDonald's line, and you're like pulled up behind somebody, and you see your lights going, and they've been on for like the last hour and a half.
And then I have to think back of everybody that I thought was nice, and be like, "All right, he's actually not nice. He was moving over because my lights were on. Screw that guy."
Next question comes from Angelo DeAngelis. Your opinion on people videotaping you while you're arresting someone or making a regular stop?
I'm into it. I mean, we're
into it.
I'm into it. Me and you used to work together, and we had body cams. Where I'm at now, I don't have a body cam.
You don't have a body cam?
No body cams or dash cams. And we're going to body cams this year. I miss it so much. I loved having a camera. I absolutely loved it. I forget what point I was making. Oh, so if they're going to film me, I mean, granted, they're going to put their own slant onto it, based on their perception or whatever, but I'm into it, and I don't do anything wrong.
There have been officers, and I don't know if you've seen it too, there have been officers I've been out with where they will see somebody filming and actually take their phone and log it into evidence. They claim it's evidence. It's like the loophole.
It depends. I mean, if it's a scene where you need video evidence and you don't have it by any other means, and somebody was there filming it, technically it is evidence. But like if something bad happened, if a shooting happens on a car stop or something like that, honestly, you're gonna wind up seizing any type of video surveillance that was happening.
Yeah.
Whether it was from somebody's cell phone or a surveillance camera from a store, it's the same thing essentially.
Yeah.
Something where you show up to a call and you handle it and nothing happens and you're just upset that somebody's filming you. That's not really a reason to take their phone. But you're always going to have to answer to what you do, whether it's to your sergeant or, when you submit the report, you got to justify why you took somebody's phone. So as far as taking somebody's phone for no reason, I've never seen that happen. But
no, not for no reason. Next question from Maggie Sauter. Can you take your patrol car home and still use it for personal use, or does it have to stay in your driveway? Maggie, that's actually a really good question. There are some departments that won't even let you take your car home at all. There's some departments that'll let you take it home and you have to park it in the driveway. And then there are some departments that really just don't give a shit one way or another, and they'll actually let you go to Walmart and go shopping. Really? Your department will?
Yep.
Wow.
I used to be, it used to be official use only. You can take it to the gym, anything you can relate to your job. Gym, dry cleaners, but where I'm at now, they like the officer presence. They want the marked car on the road. They want you driving down the road. On the other end of things, you're required to act if you're in your marked car. If an accident happens in front of you or a traffic, infraction happens in front of you, you're required to act. They're letting you use the car.
There's pros and
I wouldn't
cons.
even call it a downside. You're in a police car. How's it look if an accident happens in front of you and you drive around it and keep going to Walmart?
Oh, yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying, though. There's a downside to driving a marked patrol car.
Right. There's a give and take. You don't just get to use the car however you want. You have to, you get to use it how you want, but you have to, you're still responsible for what happens around you. You're still in a police car.
Next question from Robert Baker. Ask Staten if he thinks that lawyer is hot, meaning Blair.
Yeah. She knows I think she's gorgeous because she is gorgeous, but there's no getting around that question. So.
Next question is from Duller Sword. Your creepiest calls and weirdest traffic stops. You guys have heard a lot about mine, so I'm actually gonna ask Staten this one. What's one of the creepiest calls you've been on?
I got a call, like an alarm call to a warehouse, and it was at like 2 a.m. where obviously nobody should be in the warehouse. Walk up to the front door, it's locked, and I'm like, good, maybe a false alarm. Walk all the way around the side, all the windows are locked, and I'm like, great, it's probably still a false alarm. I get to the back, and there's a bay door open just enough to where somebody could like slide under it.
Ooh.
All right, maybe it's not a false alarm. Maybe there's somebody inside it. So me and my partner wind up actually going. We put out on the radio where we're at and what we have. We have more units coming. We wind up going under the bay door and clearing the whole place. We get to the manager's office, which is, the door is shut, but he has like a window on his office. Even though it's inside the big garage or whatever. Like I kind of peek around through the window to see if anybody's in there, even though the door's locked. And he's got like an actual like mannequin, like a mannequin that you'd find at Walmart, like that's posing like with the clothes on or whatever. And it's standing right behind the chair, and it's got like a fake gun. It was an orange gun, but just seeing like a silhouette of a person, I remember going, "Oh shit!" Like scaring the shit out of me or whatever.
I'm glad it wasn't like a child mannequin, because then it would have been
God,
like
I would have left.
A little person with a gun.
I'm not. And in his office, he left music playing.
Oh, wow.
So like as we were coming around the corner, like we hear like, "Don't stop believing," and I'm like, somebody broke into this warehouse and they're having a dance contest in the dude's manager's office or whatever. I look around the corner, I'm like, there's got to be somebody in here because they're playing music, and there's the mannequin standing behind the desk. And it's a buff mannequin. Like, I'm not a big guy.
I don't think I've ever heard the terms buff and mannequin in the same sentence.
It was a good-looking mannequin. I mean, it didn't have facial features or whatever. It had muscles from what I could see. And I was like, oh, man, like, this thing.
Mannequin with
but then, like, after I, like, looked again, I could tell it was a mannequin. And what are you going to do? It turned out to be a false alarm, actually. They left the door open. And the wind blew under the door, and it was a whole bunch of cardboard stuff. Something must have fell and set off one of the alarms.
That reminds me, we had a call like that in the city. We had the same sort of thing. The current chief was a lieutenant back then, and we cleared this. It was an old business. So it was this old building that's been there since like the 1800s. Same thing. We were searching the building after getting a business alarm. The lieutenant turns the corner and he's like going to search this bathroom, and there's a mannequin behind the shower curtain. Somebody
was I there?
You might have been there. Do you remember that?
I don't think I was there, but I remember like something coming over the radio.
What business puts a mannequin in the bathroom and puts clothes on it? That's horrible.
What business has a mannequin in the manager's office with clothes on it and leaves music playing?
I think the manager might have some skeletons in his closet.
Mannequins in his closet. But I remember something. I was working with you when that happened. Yeah.
One thing I want to cover, guys, real quick. One of the most requested things for us to do was going to be Mad Libs. Unfortunately, some dumbass around the corner has cut the fiber optic cable, so I don't actually have internet right now, and I use the internet to create these Mad Libs. That was my original idea, was to surprise you guys with Mad Libs 3. We will do that another day.
Soon, though. You're going to come to my house next time.
Yeah, we'll do it soon. Next question is from Christina Forever. Hardest personal life adjustment once becoming a police officer?
There's a lot of layers to that question. The biggest, I think, is a lot of times a normal conversation piece is, what do you do for a living? So you have to, on the fly, distinguish, is this person, can I feel safe telling this person that I'm a cop? Because a lot of people don't like cops. Some people want to hurt cops just because of the profession we do. Whether or not we're a good person personally, it's, based off the profession.
I always tell people I work on computers.
Well, and you kind of do, don't you?
Oh, I do, yeah. It's not a lie.
My dad was a cop, and his normal thing was, I'm a garbage man.
Most cops say the most off-the-wall shit. They're like, yeah, I'm a janitor.
I used to tell people I was a blimp pilot for the Coast Guard. And that was a legitimate, like, I made it all night at a bar with that story going, that I was a Coast Guard blimp pilot.
I think the biggest transition for me was going from just this like everyday job to home and switching to this like whole different world and home. It's a completely different world when you're working the streets because you see a side of people that you don't normally see any other time. So it's very different being at work than being at home. I don't know. I'm not really sure how else to explain it.
Well,
it's just like night and day.
It really is. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard it. It really is more than a job. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big transition for a lot of people too, is when you're off, you're never off. You're always on.
Yep.
If something happens in front of you, not only are you obligated to act morally, I mean, if you're a good police officer, morally you want to help people. You want to stop bad people from doing bad things to good people. On the other end of the spectrum, have issues turning off because you have to be able to turn off. So some guys, they're off duty and their mind is still 100% on duty. You know, you can't enjoy a day off with your wife or your kids because you're still
in police mode.
You're in police mode and you're looking at everybody and stuff. There's a really weird middle ground that you have to find.
Yeah.
That isn't really in the middle, but
it's not in a book. Nobody can teach you that. It's something you kind of have to find out on your own.
That's probably the best way to put it.
Eat 5 powdered donuts in less than 5 minutes without a drink.
What the fuck?
I can do that.
That's
in 30
easy
seconds.
as shit.
Yeah.
I can do that in less than 1 minute. What the fuck? What is your favorite donut?
Probably just regular glaze with chocolate.
My man. Me too.
You too?
Oh, yeah. But I could do just like a normal glaze, especially like a Krispy Kreme while the light is on.
We don't eat donuts as much as people think we do.
I don't eat them a lot on principle. Well, no, just because people like expect me to eat donuts. So like out of spite, I'm like, I'm not going to eat this donut. But I have an awesome sergeant. So like on our last day of like the work cycle, we always call it our Friday, even though it's never really a Friday. He always does Donut Friday. And he'll go out and he'll buy donuts for all of us. He's awesome. He's a good guy.
We had a guy at our last apartment, Boston.
Yep.
I was in the store one night with him, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're standing there, and he's just going to town, bitching as usual. He's always complaining about something. So he's just going to town, 3 o'clock in the morning. We're standing in this convenience store, and he's eating a bag of white powdered donuts. So the crumbs are getting like all over his uniform.
And it was a dark colored uniform too.
Yeah. It was super. It was a navy blue uniform, so it's like crumbs everywhere, white powder. We're standing there. Some guy walks into the store and he stops. He stops dead in his tracks and he looks at Boston. He's just looking at him, and Boston's going on and on and on. And he makes eye contact with the guy and he's like, "Yeah, that's right."
I haven't talked to him.
He's super busy. He just bought a Maserati. Yeah, $95,000 car.
He's already got a Hummer.
No, he sold the Hummer. He bought a Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac. Sold the Cadillac, bought a Maserati, and is about to tour Europe for like the 5th year in a row.
Well, he got promoted, right?
Yeah. All right, next question is, this is actually going to be the last question, guys. We got a lot we got to do today, so we're going to go ahead and wind this up. Last question is from William. Can someone with a misdemeanor become a cop?
Certain ones, yes.
Certain misdemeanors.
If it's not like a domestic.
As long as it doesn't have anything to do with like family violence.
I feel like you can get charged with possession. Jesus Christ. I feel like you can get charged with like a misdemeanor weed charge or something, but then 5 years later, most departments will probably hire you if in 5 years you've never gotten in trouble, you get past a polygraph.
Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We will do another one of these soon, and like I said, I'm sorry we weren't prepared as we usually are, but I was planning on doing the Mad Libs. It kind of fell through with, these internet companies I will not name, Comcast. But next time, we will have some Mad Libs for you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Stat, and I appreciate you being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you guys very, very soon.